guys are kind of like a live remixing thing. How do you guys gonna plan on incorporating that into an album?
Well, it's funny you say that. We just finished an album, and it took us a long time to even figure out what an album would be for a band like ours. So it's kind of been 3 years in the making. We did a bunch of mixtapes first. That's how we kind of got our sound out there. But the album, basically, we decided that what we wanted to do is, get maybe away from just doing familiar samples and get into more just using samples that whether we liked, whether or not you knew them or not. And instead of with our mixtapes, we went into a studio and we just jam out our mixtapes with 3 instruments. We got more of our production hat on and we actually produced them up, layers of sounds and things. And it's again in that vein of like hip hop meets electronic, so it's all kind of 95 BPM or like 70 BPM. And for us, I guess an album is just really good instrumental music with samples incorporating the 3 of our instruments. We've been touring for so long, and a part of us has been so much about what people know about us is just live, so we're really anxious for them to hear our produced music as producers, because we've grown a lot. We're not just musicians anymore, so we put the same energy and the same time into both. So I don't think there's an either or with that.
When you're choosing the samples, what's something that kind of sticks out in your mind?
It really depends what we're looking for. Like, we might be looking for just like a pop track to remix. So in that case, I'll be looking for something that we kind of like and can stand behind remixing with open parts or stems. But sometimes I'm just looking for like a horn sample to add to something that we kind of already have. So it could just be something from like an open horn sample from a funk record. And sometimes, like more times now, I think we're looking for a lot of samples that are obviously open and friendly to being manipulated, but kind of classy in that people will sort of recognize them, but it's not like so lowbrow. It's not like Dr. Dre or something. Like it's a little.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's a little bit more thought, like digging a little bit back, but making stuff that's from the past more like current.
It's funny when you say digging, because I'll hear something on the radio that I know has been remixed, and I go, "What is the name of that song?" Your head must be like a computer. Do you ever find that like, "Oh man, this would sound so perfect with," and then you're stuck?
Not necessarily. I mean, I think
you're just that smart.
No. No. Well, I think what's interesting about what you said about computers is the fact that it's like, because I used to just go through records and actually dig in the crates, and now it's like virtual crates. And I think the interesting thing about now is that nobody really talks about is like file management, because you can basically put stuff and group them, and then it's like you might have an idea for something, but it doesn't quite come together that day, but then you find the missing link like 2 weeks later, and it's like, oh, I got that folder, and it's like labeled a certain way. And I think it's just a different level of file management than when you're dealing with a room full of records out of context.